Ryobi 40-volt cordless pole saw. Does it suck? Is it awesome? Is it somewhere in between? Let's find out together today as we put this thing to use. So the first thing we'll do is we'll get this thing unboxed and we'll put it together. We'll put some bar oil in it and then we'll take it out to the yard. I have a lot of trees in the yard that have some low-hanging limbs that get in the way when I'm mowing. I want to cut those limbs off. I have to do that every year or two. Let's take a look at the specifications. So this does not come with bar and chain oil, so you will need some of that. Alright, so here's what comes in the box. You got the instructions, throw those out. Looks like some kind of a strap to help carry it around. We have the lithium ion battery, 2 amp hour, 40 volts. We got the charger, a handle. We've got an Allen wrench here for tightening the bar and the chain. The control side with the battery, it's got a safety on it here. You got 2 poles, you can use 1 or 2 of them, depending on how high you want to reach. Then you have the power head right here. This is where the bar and chain oil goes. I think it only holds a couple of ounces. There's a little window right here so you can see the level of that. Right off the bat, I'll say that the chain guard is pretty cheap. The rest of it all looks pretty good though. So this is my bar and chain oil that I use for the chainsaws. I have this gear oil bottle. I put the bar and chain oil in there because it makes it real easy to pour without spilling with this little nozzle here. Doesn't look like it holds very much. Oops, almost spilled it. Let's see if it's half full or getting low. The chain looks good and tight. I don't think we have to do anything there right now. Feels plenty sharp. You can see that there's little arrows on here, so you really can't go wrong when snapping them together. So the battery's all charged, and if I push this button, all 4 lights light up. So right now I just have the 1 extension on it, so it'd be supposedly 6.5 feet. It's definitely a lot further than that though, because I can reach at least 7. It's probably 7.5, 8 feet right now with this 1 on here. I think that's all I need for now, but we'll cut some limbs and find out. Okay guys, let me give you my thoughts on this tool. First of all, the battery lasts longer than I do. I cut maybe 45 trees, or trimmed 45 trees, cut at least 200 limbs. Most of them between 1 and 2 inches. I trimmed a few limbs that might have been 4 inches in diameter. Cut right through them, no problem. The battery, let me see if you can see this, but the battery still has 2 lights on it. So I only use half the battery in that amount of time of trimming, which is amazing. The reason I bought Ryobi in the first place was about a year ago, I couldn't start my weed trimmer, and I decided to go out and buy a battery operated one, and I had some Ryobi drills that worked really good, so I bought the Ryobi string trimmer. And I do a lot of trimming here on this 3 acres here, and that thing trims everything on a quarter of the battery. So it's amazing. And after I bought that, I decided, yeah, I'm gonna get the leaf blower and also this pole saw, so I'm not climbing up and down in trees or up on ladders cutting limbs. It's dangerous. So that's why I bought this, and that's why I went with Ryobi. So let me tell you what I think about it. Let's start out with the battery. Obviously, I just mentioned the battery is awesome. It's going to last a long time. The safety on this tool here, it's really easy to operate. I don't find it a pain. I don't like where the handle is here. I moved it off to the side because you end up holding it up here. It's just not in a great spot. If you're straight up and down, the handle works out good, but otherwise it's just not in the right spot. But I don't think that's really a deal breaker for me. It cuts really good, has plenty of power. Like I said, I cut one limb that was probably 4 or 5 inches, and it cut right through that like nothing. One thing I will say is it does use a lot of oil. I filled the oil up when I started, and then I filled it up again, and it's just about empty right now. I had tightened the chain twice. After about 20 cuts, I noticed it was loose, so I tightened it up. And then when I was all done, I noticed it was quite loose again, and I tightened it again. It might be that I just didn't tighten down this retainer screw right here quite enough. We'll see, but I did have to tighten it a few times. So anyway, in conclusion, if you're thinking about buying a pole saw, I don't think you can go wrong with this one. It's fairly inexpensive. You can get it at Home Depot. You can probably buy it on Amazon as well. So if this video brought you any value, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Well, it's about 75 degrees. It's a perfect day to do some work. I have a lot of limbs to clean up, and there'll be a big brush fire this evening. Thanks a lot for watching.